on earth will be the next James Bond? It's a question that's been on the minds of the film industry since Daniel Craig first mentioned retiring from his tuxedo. The frontrunners have emerged now that the long-delayed 25th episode of the series is set to release. The speculations over who would portray the next James Bond after Daniel Craig have turned into a real-life spy drama. And Avengers' Tom Holland, Venom's Tom Hardy, and even Bridgerton's Regé-Jean Page are among them. Keep watching to find out the other top frontrunners for the next James Bond. Starting off the list at number 6 is Tom Holland. Twitter fandoms are a genuinely alarming modern trend. Celebrities now have entire armies at their end, ready and eager to go to any length to get their favorite star in a coveted position. These celebrities and musicians may not realize the power they wield, that they can conquer entire countries with a single tweet if they desire, as well as the fans. In fact, these A-list supporters understand that they have the numbers, the time, and the commitment to achieve whatever they choose. This leads us to Tom Holland, a man with the most outspoken social media followers. The 25-year-old Spider-Man actor's name hasn't been raised much, if at all, in the Bond debate, but we expect that will change very soon. Consider this. We're probably a year or two away from a casting decision, and it's logical to expect Broccoli & Company to go with a younger actor when the time comes. He's attractive, British, and has previous leading man experience.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You look pretty too.
Thank you.
Furthermore, he is poised to play Nathan Drake in the Uncharted film adaptation, a grizzled, wisecracking hero who knows his way around a gun. The prospect of bringing Bond to a younger, Marvel-obsessed public would be enticing, and fans will rally behind a casting effort. He may be James Bond, but he may not be, considering that they might not want young Tom to be engaged in the Bond franchise, which is a highly time-consuming role. It could prevent him from continuing as Spider-Man or star in any of Marvel's 7 million spin-offs and reboots scheduled for the next few years. We'll have to wait and see. But one thing is sure, Tom Holland as Bond would be a massive win for short kings everywhere. He is currently defeated in the latest Bond odds. However, Holland's chances may improve now that his contract with Marvel to play Spider-Man has expired. Next at number 5 is Sam Heughan. Heughan, a relatively new competitor in the Bond race, will most certainly be recognized from Outlander and potentially from a part as a very Bondy secret agent in Mila Kunis and Kate McKinnon's comedy The Spy Who Dumped Me. At 41, he's about the right age, if possibly a half-decade too late for producers to build another 15-year run around him. Perhaps more crucially, he has the Sean Connery aspect. Heughan is from Balmaclellan in Dumfries and Galloway, and he believes it's time to send Bond north of Hadrian's Wall once more. Heughan was interviewed on Alex Zane's podcast, Just the Facts, about how he feels about internet conjecture and whether he still wants to work for MI6. Heughan previously said that he auditioned for Bond before Craig was cast when producers Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson examined hundreds of people to replace Pierce Brosnan.
I did audition for Bond a long time ago when they were redoing it with Daniel Craig when he was Bond 21. They were going to go younger with him. It was a pretty cool experience.
Wow.
And it's about time we had a Scottish Bond.
In an interview with Zane, the Bloodshot star says that he was not prepared for such a significant change so early in his career, but that he absolutely feels equipped for the coveted job after several years as a leading man. It was an incredible experience and I was utterly out of my depth, Heughan said of auditioning for the role in front of famed Bond producers Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson. However, in his conversation with Zane, Heughan made it clear that he feels better suited to play the part now, thanks to the wisdom and possibly the more rugged handsomeness that comes with age. He concluded the interview by saying that, "I'm at the right age now. I believe I am capable of doing it. I'd welcome the chance to throw my hat in the ring, definitely." You don't want to miss our number 3 pick, as he probably is the sexiest actor alive. Coming in at number 4 is Cillian Murphy. Now that Peaky Blinders is down to its last season, Cillian Murphy will be free to take on another time-consuming leading man role, perhaps one with less rigorous grooming requirements. The bakery boy cap will no longer be a burden to him. Bond rumors have resurfaced, perhaps predictably, surrounding the Irish actor. He has been in the discourse for a long time and has responded to stories in the past with the same reserved good humor that most in-demand actors do. He's demonstrated that he can play a gun-toting hardman with pathos, and his critically praised work on indie and blockbuster films over the last 2 decades surely helps his argument. It goes without saying that he looks the part in a suit, and his casting would also signify a win for short kings everywhere, standing at roughly 5'7". What's not to appreciate about that? Well, he wouldn't be the kind of radical difference that some fans and critics are looking for, and at 45, he might not even fit the bill. Daniel Craig was 7 years younger when he took over Bond in 2006. We feel that Barbara Broccoli will eventually want to bring a younger Bond to screens, if only to distinguish the next installment from the ones that came before it. Before we continue with the list, here's a little fun fact about the James Bond franchise. Actors who are cast as James Bond can live their opulent lifestyles. This includes visiting the world, dressing up in the most fashionable clothes, and driving luxurious automobiles. Daniel Craig reportedly gets the opportunity of driving any Aston Martin model straight from the factory for the rest of his life. It is truly a privilege to be a James Bond.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Let's continue with number 3, Richard Madden. Even though he didn't make it past the 3rd season of Game of Thrones, the former king in the North hasn't let the events of the Red Wedding deter him. In Marvel's Eternal, he's poised to make his big screen debut as a godlike superhuman. After his award-winning performance in Bodyguard, Richard Madden, aka Robb Stark, on Game of Thrones is apparently the frontrunner to portray James Bond once Daniel Craig hangs up his Walther PPK. According to The Sun, Madden has piqued Bond producer Barbara Broccoli's interest. It's seriously looking like he is going to win the job. Not only is he at the top of Barbara's list, but she is also planning to offer him the role. Madden recently spoke with Variety about his future plans, saying, "I'd like to pursue things that are a little bit not Romeo. I've spent 10 years playing various incarnations of Romeo, ranging from Robb Stark to literally portraying Romeo twice on stage, once when I was 21 and once when I was 30. I've played a lot of decent characters who get screwed over, and Bodyguard was my first genuine experience with this moral area that isn't as clear-cut as good guys and bad guys. I'd want to look into it." His most notable 007 credit is arguably his performance in the 2018 British drama Bodyguard. If the filmmakers want their next James Bond film to include sequences of severe gloom, Madden could be the man for the job. But wait, there's more. Next at number 2 on the list is Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy has played a variety of quirky characters in his career, including Bane, Venom, Al Capone, and Mad Max Rockatansky, to name a few. But would he ever think of taking on Hollywood's most renowned mystery man? I'm not sure, Hardy told E.T.'s Matt Cohen during a press event for Venom's new movie. His co-star Naomi Harris, who has portrayed the Moneypenny to Craig's Bond since Skyfall in 2012, gave a considerably more enthusiastic endorsement. "He'd be incredible," Harris exclaimed. "He's an excellent actor. I've always been a tremendous fan of his, and now that I've worked with him on Venom, I have even more respect for him. He's terrific, and the physicality he brings to the character is absolutely extraordinary. It's unlike anything I've ever seen." This talented British actor has a strong on-screen presence and has played a wide range of roles. He has a strong body and has demonstrated exceptional acting abilities in various parts throughout the years. There will undoubtedly be a backlash over his height if he is cast, which is somewhat shorter than Craig's. Apart from that, there isn't anything to quibble with. The franchise might explore a more complex Bond with Hardy, possibly fighting to control his violent tendencies, someone who isn't entirely clear in his thoughts. And now, the number 1 on the list, Regé-Jean Page. Rumors of Regé-Jean becoming Bond have been circulating since Bridgerton's release because, well, he'd be amazing. It was announced in early April that British actor Regé-Jean Page would not be returning to Bridgerton, and social media reacted negatively to the news. Page's performance as the Duke of Hastings sparked insatiable Instagram pages and innumerable adoring headlines, propelling the period drama to become Netflix's most successful series ever. It's now being claimed that he resigned due to creative issues with showrunner Shonda Rhimes. But at the moment, everyone's attention was focused on one thing: Bond. In terms of looks and wow factor, the Bridgerton star can compete with anyone. He is also relatively youthful at only 31 years old and can easily handle a large franchise like James Bond for a decade and a half. Regé-Jean Page is an actor that producers should consider if they want to work with one actor for a long time. According to a source, he is in the running and is the favorite to succeed Daniel Craig following No Time to Die. Regé-Jean responded to Bond speculations in June, telling The Hollywood Reporter, "It has nothing to do with me, nothing to do with anything that has transpired in any rooms or meetings. It's essentially just something to chat about. It's flattering, but it's only a game." I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Who do you think is the next James Bond? Share your thoughts in the comment section below, and please subscribe and hit the like button. You can turn on the notification icon so you don't miss out on any of our incredible videos. That's all for today, and I'll see you in the next video.